Okay, well, 4 years ago, I really started getting not only interested but serious about doing this book about this boy who becomes a pope. And so I really started focusing on seers, and I really narrowed it down to Saint Hildegard. She was a saint in the 12th century, and she was a seer. She foretold of the end times, and she had many very deep visions. And she also was an amazing leader. She was what's called a polymath, which is a person who excels at many things. And she was a theologian. She was a doctor of music. She was an amazing lady. And she also clashed with her church, the male-dominated church in her day. But I really focused on her visions and her prophesizing. And I thought, I found my girl. I think this is the one who's going to be my angle for this book about a boy who becomes pope eventually at the end of the world. And so I really used her visions, and she inspired me. And so the day and night that I picked her, I remember tossing and turning all night. I hardly slept. I said, I really think I want to use Hildegard. By this time, I'm very serious into my novel. I really want to do this, and I'm ready to do it. In the morning, I woke up, and I take daily sunrise pictures and put them on Facebook. I live on the water. The sunrise comes up right directly in front of my place. I usually go out, take a picture. So the morning that I have chosen Hildegard, that's it. She's the one I'm going to use, going to be my angle. I went out on the deck to take a picture. The sun came up, and all of a sudden a cross formed, actually blinding cross. And it's hard to describe, but if I hadn't been able to take 40 pictures of this cross that lasted 8 minutes, I took 40 pictures of it. If I hadn't had that, I'd have thought I was crazy. I took it from different angles on the deck. I went down on the beach. I even went back in the house and took pictures from in the house through the windows, and it lasted 8 minutes. So that was my sign to me that, yep, this is your angle. This is Hildegard's going to be with you, and here's your sign. And then on, the Seven Keys of Hildegard had its birth, and and away we went. Now, my novel is historical fiction, and people often ask me, what is that? Well, it's a blending of fiction with the truth, with history. And so that was a challenge, and it is still the biggest challenge in writing these books, because you're blending true fact and a lot of facts and history with this fictitious character, this boy who will grow to become the last pope at the end of the world. So that was my basic story, and those were the challenges I had as I embarked on it. And all was great. I had started working on this book, and then I realized I had too much information for one book. I had this story starting in 1917, actually, with the visions at Fatima, who are blended into the story, and Hildegard's visions in the 12th century. But then the story actually takes place between the 1930s and into the future of the 2030s, maybe 2040s. And as I started writing, I realized that this is more than one book. There's too much material for one book. And I had thought of 4 books. By this time, I started working with my niece, David Dupuis, who was a freelance editor, and my nephew Matthew, who was a graphic designer, would help me with the covers and designing the book at the time. And anyway, my niece said, I said, I got 4 books. She said, no, you don't have 4 books. You either have 3 or you have 5. I went, well, okay, I have too much material for 3, so 5 it is. And so the 7 Keys of Hildegard are going to be 5 books. And as I got into it and started going, of course, blending two great characters into the first book. In Angelo Roncalli was at the time of the story, he's a bishop, and he befriends a priest who becomes a Monsignor and eventually a bishop by the name of Albino Luciani. And so they are both intertwined very strongly into the first book. And without giving too much away, it takes place during the Second World War, and there's lots of stuff that happens that I don't want to give the story away, but it blended very well together with fact and fiction. And so book one takes place between 1938 and ends in 1958. And there's some cataclysmic events at the very end of book one that leaves the reader hanging, much to many readers' chagrin, that I get the reactions from people who are quite mad at me that I left them at the edge of the cliff. And I guess that's what a good novel's supposed to do, you know. So that was my biggest challenge, is mixing history and fiction, and blending them into history. There's lots of history, Second World War, and the popes, and you know, the keys and the popes are intertwined. And so book one had Pope Pius the 11th, and then Pope Pius the 12th, and they're through book one. And each book has popes, bishops, cardinals. Now my other biggest challenge was, I didn't want this book to be churchy, even though I'm writing about the Vatican, bishops, cardinals, priests. I wanted this book to be not churchy, and so I tried very hard to make it interesting about the people and not so much about the church. And I think from all accounts, people who've read book one, I've sold quite a few copies so far. People love the story, and it's not too churchy. So a great success is that I achieved a churchy book that wasn't churchy, and so I'm very proud of that. So this story is unique because I don't think that anybody has ever written such a detailed historical book of our times that blends in with fiction and fictitious characters. And nobody has tackled modern church events with real people, real popes, cardinals. I changed some names to protect the guilty or the innocent, just to show that the story is partly fiction. And so some of the real people have changed their names, but I'm pretty proud of the way it's proceeding. I've got book two finished now. Book one was called Of Mercy and of Death. Book two is called Of Love and of Betrayal. And book two will take place between 1978 and 1958 and 1978. So I'm quite proud of that. And it as well leaves the reader on a cliffhanger. I've had a few people who've done some pre-reading for me, and they get angry just like they did for book one, that the story leaves them hanging and they don't have another page to read. So I guess that's a good sign. And of course, this story goes into the future. It goes into book three that I'm working on, half finished right now, goes between 1978 and roughly 2005. So world events, the Cold War, the presidents, assassinations, good and evil, the good guys and the bad guys, the good cardinals, bad cardinals, and all of this written without trying to be churchy. And I think I pull it off, and I'm very proud of it. I'm excited about it, where the story's going. It's a journey, and what I'm most proud of is my readers are coming on a journey with me. And you know, I think there's spirituality in everybody, whether you're Catholic or you're Protestant or you're atheist. I believe everybody has spirituality in them, and there's always hope that there's a better good, a greater force. Is there a reason for our being? And I hope to cement that into my novels and get people inspired and believing in this journey and going along with me on this ride through history that is partly fictitious and partly true. And I'm excited about where it's going. And the one thing people are always amazed at with me, and the people who start following me a bit, is that I'm up at 4 o'clock every morning. 4 o'clock is my writing beginning. I get up in the morning, make a coffee, have a bit of quiet time, enjoy that first cup of coffee in the dark, and then once that's out of the way, the computer comes on, and I'll write from 4:30. Sometimes I write till 5 o'clock at night. Sometimes I write into the evening. Have to stop once in a while, but my morning is my greatest time to write, and I'm looking forward to keeping on doing that. And yeah.